At some point, everything was perfect. The excitement was real. The connection felt electric. And then slowly, quietly, without either of you fully noticing, something changed. The texts got a little shorter. The effort got a little lighter. The spark that felt so certain started flickering, and now you are lying awake wondering what happened and whether it can be fixed. Because attraction disappearing is one of the most confusing and painful experiences a human being can go through, especially when nothing dramatic happened. No fight, no betrayal, just a slow, quiet fade that nobody planned and nobody wanted. And the most frustrating part is that most people have no idea why it happened. They replay everything looking for the moment it changed, and they cannot find it. Because it was not one moment, it was a pattern. And patterns are invisible until you know what to look for. Today, I am going to show you exactly what that pattern looks like. Why attraction fades, what causes it at a psychological and neurological level, and most importantly, what you can actually do to stop it from happening. And I want to be clear about something before we start. This is not about playing games. This is not about being cold or withholding or strategically difficult. This is about understanding the psychology of attraction deeply enough to work with it instead of accidentally against it. Because most people who lose someone's attraction were not doing anything wrong on purpose. They were doing what felt natural, what felt loving, what felt right. And they had no idea that some of those natural, loving things were quietly working against them. So let us start at the beginning. What is attraction actually made of at a neurological level? Because once you understand what it is made of, you understand exactly why it fades and exactly what maintains it. Attraction in the early stages is largely driven by dopamine, the brain's primary reward chemical. And dopamine does not fire when you receive something expected. It fires in anticipation of something uncertain. This is the fundamental mechanism behind why early attraction feels so electric. Everything is uncertain. You do not know if they like you. You do not know what they are thinking. You do not know what happens next. And that uncertainty keeps dopamine firing constantly. Every text from them is a small dopamine hit. Every interaction is charged with possibility. Every moment together feels heightened because the brain is running on the fuel of beautiful uncertainty. And then certainty arrives, and the dopamine levels drop. Not because the person became less attractive, not because the connection became less real, but because the brain's reward system works on novelty and uncertainty, not on security and familiarity. This is not a flaw in the design of attraction. This is the design. And understanding it completely changes how you navigate a connection that matters to you. Because the goal is not to manufacture fake uncertainty or play games. The goal is to understand which natural behaviors kill uncertainty entirely and replace them with genuine depth that sustains attraction in a way that dopamine alone never could. Reason number 1, why attraction fades. Losing your own identity inside the connection. This is the most common and the most devastating reason attraction disappears. And it happens to people who care the most, who invest the most, who want it to work the most. When someone becomes very important to you, it is natural to start orienting your life around them, adjusting your schedule to fit theirs, adjusting your opinions to match theirs, being available whenever they need you, making their comfort your primary concern. And from the inside, this feels like love. It feels like investment. It feels like exactly what a good partner or potential partner should do. But from the outside, from the psychological perspective of the person receiving all of that orientation, something very different is happening. They are watching someone they were attracted to slowly disappear, because what they were attracted to was you, your specific way of seeing things, your opinions, your life, your energy, the version of you that existed before they became the center of your world. When you dissolve into someone else, when you make them your entire world, you remove the very thing they were drawn to. You become a reflection of them rather than a person they are discovering. And the brain cannot sustain attraction toward a reflection. It needs someone real, someone distinct, someone who has a perspective that is genuinely their own, someone whose approval means something because they do not give it reflexively. The fix is not to care less. The fix is to maintain yourself while caring deeply. Keep your friendships, keep your interests, keep your opinions, even when they differ. Keep the life you had before them, running alongside the connection. not replaced by it. Because the version of you that was living a full life before they came into it is the version they fell for. And that version needs to keep existing for what they feel to keep existing. Reason number 2, why attraction fades. Removing all mystery. Mystery is not about being secretive. It is not about hiding who you are or playing games with information. It is about the natural result of being someone who is genuinely interesting and still being discovered. In the early stages of attraction, everything is unknown. Every conversation reveals something new. Every interaction adds a layer. The other person is a puzzle, and the brain is deeply engaged in the process of putting it together. But when two people become very comfortable very quickly, when they share everything immediately, when there are no more questions left unanswered, the brain's engagement drops, not with the person, with the process of discovering them. This is why couples who have been together for years sometimes feel like strangers who have stopped discovering each other. Not because they changed, but because they stopped creating the conditions for discovery. The fix is to keep growing. Keep having experiences that give you new things to bring back to the connection. Keep developing perspectives that did not exist before. Keep being someone who is still becoming, rather than someone who has already fully arrived. Because a person who is still growing, still learning, still surprising themselves, is a person who can still surprise the people around them. And surprise is one of the most powerful maintainers of attraction that exists. Reason number 3, why attraction fades. Treating the connection as already secured. There is a specific shift that happens in how people behave once they feel that a connection is established. The effort that characterized the early stages starts to feel less necessary. The thoughtfulness that was automatic starts to become occasional. The texts that used to be crafted become casual. The dates that used to be planned become habitual. The attention that used to feel special becomes expected. And the other person begins to feel it even before they can name it. Because what they feel is the absence of pursuit. And pursuit is not just about the early stages of attraction. It is a signal that says, "You still matter to me. I am still choosing you." This is not something I am taking for granted. When pursuit disappears, the other person's brain registers it as a shift in priority. And a shift in priority triggers a shift in attraction. Not because they are playing games, but because the brain interprets reduced pursuit as reduced value. This is psychological, not logical. You can love someone deeply and still unconsciously trigger this response in them by treating the connection as already won rather than something still being actively chosen. The fix is not grand gestures. Grand gestures after a long period of low effort feel like panic, not genuine care. The fix is consistent, small, intentional efforts that communicate on an ongoing basis that you still see this person and you are still choosing them. A specific message that shows you were thinking of them, making a plan that required actual thought rather than defaulting to the usual routine, noticing something about them and saying it. Small, consistent, genuine. That is what maintains the feeling of being pursued. Reason number 4, why attraction fades. Emotional over-availability. This one is the hardest for most people to hear because it feels completely counterintuitive. How can being too emotionally available cause someone to lose attraction toward you? But the psychology here is clear and consistent. When someone is always available, always ready to process feelings, always emotionally present at every moment, it removes something that attraction requires to stay alive. It removes the experience of your emotional presence as something valuable, something that is given rather than just always there. When something is always available in unlimited quantities, the brain stops registering it as significant. This does not mean you should be emotionally unavailable or cold. It means that being a full person with your own emotional landscape, your own processing needs, your own life that sometimes takes priority, is not a flaw in a relationship. It is a requirement for attraction to be sustained. When you have days where you are focused on your own things, when you are not always immediately emotionally accessible, when your attention is sometimes genuinely directed elsewhere, your emotional presence becomes something that is given rather than assumed. And given things are felt, assumed things are taken for granted. The difference between those two experiences is the difference between attraction being maintained and attraction quietly fading. Reason number 5, why attraction fades. Stopping the behaviors that created attraction in the first place. Think about what you were like when you first met this person, how you dressed when you knew you might see them, how you showed up in conversations, the energy you brought, the effort you made, the version of yourself you presented. Now think about how you show up 6 months later, a year later, 2 years later. For most people, there is a significant difference. And that difference is felt by the other person, even when it is never spoken. Because what attracted them was not just who you are. It was the version of you that was fully showing up. The version that was engaged and present and putting in effort and caring about how they experienced being with you. When that version quietly steps back and a more casual, comfortable version takes its place, the other person's brain notices. Not necessarily consciously, but it notices. And attraction responds to the shift. The fix is not to go back to performing. You should never have to perform for someone who genuinely cares about you. The fix is to keep caring about how you show up. Keep investing in yourself. Keep being someone who brings something alive to the connection, rather than someone who coasts on what was already built. Reason number 6, why attraction fades. Allowing contempt to replace challenge. Researcher John Gottman spent decades studying what destroys relationships and what keeps them alive. And the single most destructive force he identified was contempt. The feeling of being above someone, of finding them slightly ridiculous, of losing respect for who they are. Contempt does not arrive dramatically. It creeps in slowly through small moments of dismissal. An eye roll that was meant to be playful but landed as dismissive. A correction in front of others that was meant to be helpful but felt like criticism. A joke at their expense that was meant to be light but carried real weight. And once contempt begins to flavor how one person sees another, attraction cannot survive it. Because attraction requires respect at its foundation. You cannot be drawn towards someone you feel above. The fix is to actively protect the respect you have for the other person. To choose to see their strengths as consistently as you see their weaknesses. To remember who they are at their best even in moments when they are at their worst. And to replace contempt with genuine challenge. Which means engaging with them as an equal. Pushing back when you disagree. Holding your own perspective even when theirs differs. Being someone they have to genuinely reckon with, rather than someone who has stopped being a real presence in the conversation. Reason number 7, why attraction fades. Neglecting physical and emotional investment in yourself. This is not about appearance in a shallow sense. This is about the signal that self-investment sends to the people around you. When you take care of yourself, when you invest in your health, your mind, your growth, your appearance, you communicate something deeply attractive. You communicate that you value yourself. And people are drawn to people who value themselves. Not out of vanity, but because self-respect is one of the most attractive qualities a human being can project. When someone stops investing in themselves after a connection is established, when they let the habits that made them feel confident and alive gradually fall away, the other person feels that shift. They feel the energy change. They feel the self-respect contract. And attraction responds to that contraction in a very specific way. It follows the self-respect down, because you cannot maintain attraction towards someone who has stopped finding themselves worth investing in. The fix is to maintain your investment in yourself, not for the other person, but for you. Because the version of you that exercises, that grows, that has goals, that takes care of their body and their mind, is the version that is most alive. And aliveness is attractive in a way that nothing else can replicate. Now I want to talk about something that most people do not realize until it is too late. There is a window. When attraction starts to fade, there is a window of time where the right shifts can reverse the trajectory. Where coming back to yourself, reintroducing the behaviors that created connection, can reignite something that has not fully gone out yet. But that window does not stay open forever. The longer the fade continues, the more the other person's brain recategorizes you. And the brain is reluctant to reverse a recategorization once it has been made. Which is why the most important time to apply everything we covered today is not after you notice attraction fading. It is before. It is now. It is in the connection that is going well and that you want to protect. Because prevention is infinitely more effective than reversal. Maintaining the behaviors that create attraction is far easier than trying to reignite something that has been allowed to cool significantly. But if you are reading this from inside a fading connection, if you recognize the patterns we described, and you can see them clearly in your own situation, the window may still be open. And the first step is always the same. Come back to yourself. Before you try to change the dynamic between you, come back to the version of you that existed before this person became your entire focus. Reconnect with your own life, your own interests, your own energy. Because you cannot give someone a reason to be attracted to you by focusing on them. You can only give them a reason by being someone worth being attracted to. And that starts with you, before it starts with the relationship. Now let us talk about what sustained attraction actually looks like. Because I do not want to leave you with only what destroys it. I want to give you a picture of what builds it over time. Sustained attraction is built on 4 things: genuine respect, ongoing discovery, maintained individuality, and consistent intentional investment. Genuine respect means continuing to see the other person as someone you admire. Not blindly, not despite their flaws, but genuinely, choosing to keep your focus on what is worth respecting, even as you become more aware of what is not. Ongoing discovery means both people continuing to grow individually so that there is always something new being brought back to the connection. New experiences, new perspectives, new layers being revealed, rather than everything already being known. Maintained individuality means both people holding onto the core of who they are, their friendships, their interests, their opinions, their sense of self that exists independently of the connection. And consistent intentional investment means continuing to choose each other, actively, regularly, not assuming the connection maintains itself because it once existed, but treating it as something alive that requires ongoing attention and care to keep being what it was. These 4 things together create something that dopamine alone could never sustain. A deep, layered attraction that gets stronger over time rather than fading. That becomes more resilient rather than more fragile. That feels like home without feeling like stagnation. And that kind of attraction is not luck. It is not chemistry. It is not something that some people are blessed with and others are denied. It is a skill. Built from understanding, applied with intention, maintained with care. I want to end with something honest. Some connections fade, not because anyone did anything wrong, but because the foundation was never strong enough to support what was built on top of it. And sometimes the most psychologically healthy thing you can do is let a fading connection fade. Not every spark is meant to become a fire. And not every fire is meant to burn forever. But the connections that have real depth, real compatibility, real potential, those deserve the understanding we talked about today. They deserve 2 people who know how attraction works and who choose to work with it rather than accidentally against it. Because the difference between a connection that fades and a connection that deepens is not luck. It is not chemistry. It is not timing. It is knowledge. And now you have it. Think about the connection in your life right now that matters most to you. Go through the 7 reasons we covered. Are any of them present? Which ones do you recognize? Because recognition is the first step. You cannot fix what you cannot see. And now you can see it. All of it. Clearly and completely. The shift starts with one decision. To come back to yourself. To maintain who you are. To keep growing. To keep choosing rather than coasting. To keep investing rather than assuming. One decision. Made today. That protects something real. And if you are not currently in a connection, but you want to be ready when the right one arrives, everything we covered today is equally relevant. Because building the habits of sustained attraction before you need them is the most powerful position you can be in. Show up as someone who maintains their identity. Keep growing and surprising yourself. Do not dissolve into people before you even know them fully. Bring genuine presence rather than performance. Invest in yourself consistently. Those habits will make you someone who naturally sustains attraction rather than someone who accidentally destroys it. And that is the version of you that the right connection deserves to meet. Because attraction that lasts is not about finding the right person and then hoping the feeling stays. It is about being the right version of yourself consistently enough that the feeling has every reason to stay. That is the truth about attraction that most people never hear. And now you have heard it. If this gave you something real today, something that changes how you move inside your most important connections, subscribe to Pulse Psychology because this is the level we operate at every single day. Drop a comment below and tell me which of the 7 reasons hit closest to home for you. I want to know which one made you think. I read every single one. I will see you tomorrow.